I have a problem opening my mouth all the way. The full and resonant tone can't escape until you've opened up a little bit more. Try yawning. My singing teacher asked, "Do I have TMJ?" "No, Pam," I say. "I have an athletic mind with crushing dominion over my body, NBD. People love casting pathologies. I sing super high. "That's crazy," she says. "You were castrati in another life." "No, Pam. In another life, I have hundreds of horses. Ferry Kumeyaay children to school, men and women to fiestas between reservations, weave dry leaves and reeds and branches into baskets, loop darker strips into lightning bolts and the cloud patterns that roll around our sacred mountain. I live in the valley of the captains, sing bird, the epic song cycles that narrate how we got to the valley and what we passed on our way. Time to time, I scout from the mountain peak, light a fire in my feet when the Spanish flood into the vineyards. We retreat into the crevice of the earth, but the storm, it never blows over. At the mission, I learned to read, grow food for the priest, scrub our shackles, for the Bible tells me so. I never liked church, but I love midnight mass. Love singing lessons after 8 p.m., love night writing, the ceremony of nighttime, the cauldron of echoes, smells, the earth's shadow over itself curates an intimate thought process, a witchy kind of attention. The sun is too canine for me, drooling and jumping and expects thanks just for being too much into everything. I look up at blinking string lights crisscross in the sky. What the fuck are you doing with your life? Less Mary Oliver and more Mary Magdalene, in that language is a garden tended by succeeding generations. Flowers watered, weeds pulled, but words change and rules change. How hate was pronounced more like hot. Really seething, seeing something adds to its poetry. And then conquerors invade the narrative and just mow the whole thing, my colonial mind. So I'm at this party shouting over, dubstep about Mary Magdalene and historical revisionism I heard on this comedy podcast instead of the changing nature of frog and Kumeyaay trickster stories because they're gone and I never learned them. Mary in the sense that you live your life and after you die, writing lives on, says whatever it wants about you. Like leaving a party alone and catching the train, and remember every dumbass thing you said? Everyone hates you. They could help it, but you can't. You keep shitting. I look up and fall down because the distance between Bushwick and the North Star smacks my equilibrium across the face. People survive all the time through true horrors. Holocaust, Middle Passage, 1492, like, how? I'm one of the weak ones. I cry at Beyoncé songs. I see a young mom drunk on the subway, throw up blueberries or black beans, and her kid's son holds her hand, waves away strap hangers, forgets his happy birthday candle on the seat. The doors close at their stop. I cry for a straight week. The seam of my skin bursts open routinely. It's a condition. In the valley I lived in for thousands of years, in traditional times, I'm sure I would have been a mourner, called on to cry because I do it all the time. So I sit on the leg of my don't write it soul for hours to feel nothing. Do we deserve privacy in the age of selfies? Pardon if I don't say it muse for a moment, if we're just giving it all away. Redacted, delete status, unlike, yes, you always deserve privacy. In fact, I think you should have more. Stop fucking posting about veggies. Truly America's most disgustingly perky word. And pics of your shitty jewelry tree. Just because you bought it online one time when you had a vodka soda with your Ambien doesn't mean I want to see it. Everything is so extra. It gets hard to know what to actually give a fuck about. It's okay to be alone versus I'm gonna die alone. Is Muse good or bad? Is the needless dichotomy of a foster god. It's hard to dislodge him, and scraping away the remnants they haven't all winded or rained away takes work. Theistic fate jammed up in my crannies, literal church imposed onto the foothills of my landscape, whispering, I know most of you didn't make it, but it's all a part of God's plan. I whisper to myself, is Muse good or bad? Thinking in this way makes me, pardon the expression, want to kill myself. Good, bad, right, wrong, binary is another weapon of the oppressor, justifies conquest, and is a method to ensure survivors, if there are any, will always question their worth to literally just live. Today I'm smiling with the great poets, and tomorrow I cry in line at the bank. Grinder, hey man, what's good? I don't fucking know. Some thoughts are all you. Gigi says this movie is terrible, duh. I'm jealous. I never think anything is terrible, duh. Take Portland, please. Too much permission. I don't really care to sit with Robert Lowell, and I will cross the street if I see teens, but nothing is ever terrible, duh. This feels terribly dull. White cloud in a field. A bomb goes off somewhere in the world. I'm folding my bomber jacket with sweaty August throttling me. Finally convinced the threat of polar vortexes totes past, but I'm wrong so often we're basically BFFs. Right in me? We never really spoken before. Beautiful alien. Lit from all angles. Tells the funny jokes at parties. I crackle, show off, because sometimes we're in the same group at the parties. We're smoking on the deck. Music thumps from the inside. Right never looks directly at me. Right has a crush on me, right? I am too intimidating. Or am I garbage? Right? Can't even bother. I dance big, I resume, bend over to pick up a quarter, and once or twice, right, nods. Thin lips eking a sort of semi-smile. I am entertaining in this tank top. I run all these miles. I'm not dewy young, but I have scruff, kinda. I'm friends with the coolest girls. Right. I want mad, passionate, constant lava. I'll hold your hand on water, nestle chins on chins on chins, dizzy, or just because you break like scales over me. I'm brave. We're set in jello, stuffed into carpets, fall on top of each other like snow. Gentle, and always a different body. We live through our bodies. Into the force we started as, animus. But you stub sig, tell another joke. I get a sandwich at the deli on my way home.